on guys, 8-Bit Glitch 79 here, and we've made it halfway, 6th day of the 12 nostalgic days of Christmas. I hope you're enjoying the series so far and hearing all the memories from our friends and from yours truly. And with that, I'd like to announce our third giveaway brought to you by Video Games Monthly. It's this package right here. Now, for this one, since it's a Game Boy Color game and it's the Grinch, I'm thinking for this one to enter down in the comments of this video, you need to put down what do you not like about the Christmas season. Down below, mention something you're Grinchy about when it comes to Christmas. It can be anything. Just it's got to be something you do not like about Christmas. Put that down in the comments, and in the episode I release, picking the winners, I'll pick from those comments that have something Grinchy, and that winner will win this package here from Video Games Monthly. Okay, so now with that out of the way, let's hand it over to our first guest. Now, some of you might know this guy from the community. He's a little bit sour with Video Games Monthly, actually, because he never seems to get a 1-up. And with that, I want to throw it over to Back in the Day Gamer.
What's happening, YouTube? Back in the Day Gamer here. The first 3 things that come to mind when I think about Christmas is dinner with the family, watching Christmas movies, and playing video games. Something I'm very nostalgic for happens to combine 2 of those 3 things, and that is this guy right here. Home Alone on the Game Boy. Now, yeah, it came out on all the other platforms, but in my opinion, this 8-bit green screen gray brick version is far superior than all the other versions, including the ones on the 16-bit colored systems. This was one of my first Game Boy games, and I've loved it ever since the day I got it. The game itself is a fetch quest of sorts. It takes place after the first movie, which is the only good one in the series. So Harry and Marv get out of jail, and they're coming back to finish the job. You play as Kevin, who for whatever reason is once again home alone. You need to go through the house collecting all the valuables and lock them up in the giant bank-sized vault that the McAllisters have in their basement, so Harry, Marv, and the rest of the gang can't steal them. Not only do you have to avoid the robbers, but in the basement you'll encounter enemies trying to keep you from reaching the vault. Every stage ends in a boss battle, which I think is a nice touch. That's something you didn't always get in these older games, especially on the Game Boy. There are some decent cutscenes that add to the storyline, but the little thing they added that I like the most is the pizza mechanic. On screen you have a pie chart, and every piece of pizza you collect fills a space. When you fill up the whole pie, you get a 1-up. Unlike my VGM boxes, for a 30-year-old Game Boy title, the graphics are very good. They're crisp, and there's a lot of detail in the backgrounds and the sprites. Stage 1 plays a very familiar tune that I think sounds pretty darn good, which you'll come to appreciate because you listen to it over and over and over again on a 15-second loop. My only gripe is that Kevin controls a little slippery, but by no means does that spoil the gameplay. I definitely recommend stuffing any retro gamer stocking with this one. Now, I'd like to shoot a big thanks to 8-Bit Glitch for not only having me, but putting this series on. I know doing something like this is a lot of work. I hope everyone appreciates it. I definitely do. I really liked watching it last year, and I'm sure I'm going to like watching it even more this year. So, Glitch, once again, thanks a lot, buddy. Merry Christmas, and to everyone else, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and until next time, keep it retro!
Thanks, Tony, for sharing that. You know, I kind of forgot that there was a Home Alone game on the Game Boy. I should have known that, though. But finding random pieces of pizza throughout a house, that doesn't seem realistic. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I do have 2 kids, and yeah, there is sometimes random pieces of pizza throughout the house. So, yeah, that checks. So now I'm going to hand it over to our second guest. Now, we're going to have to hop in a plane, fly across the pond over to the Green Isle of Ireland, and throw it over to HeaapsOGamez. What do you got for us, HeaapsOGamez?
It's HeaapsOGamez here, and I'm just answering a question put to me by 8-Bit Glitch 79. And his question to me was, what item, whether it be game, toy, etc., would I have nostalgic feelings for at Christmas? And I suppose The straight answer to that is Scale Extrix. So Scale Extrix for me was one of my favourite toys given to me as a kid. And what I actually have here is, I have now the Scale Extrix that I bought my son. And I suppose specifically to go back to my own childhood, I didn't get much when Christmas came around, but what I did get, I cherished it. And the one year I got a Scale Extrix set was one of the best things I ever received. And man, I minded that thing. And it's still in perfect condition, although it's not with me here in my own home. But my parents still have it. And I suppose what I wanted to do really was, I wanted to buy one for my own child. And here it is. So this one will be under the tree this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing how my kid reacts to this. So yeah, I mean, I'll just keep this short, but yeah, to me, Scale Extrix to me was, you know, one of the greatest things I ever received. Absolutely.
Wow, that's an interesting toy there. I don't recall that brand over here in America. I mean, we've had our share of car race tracks and things like that, but yeah, I don't recall that one at all. Not to say that we didn't have it. Some parts of our country got some toys that others didn't, but I did have race car tracks, so I can relate with that a lot. So thank you for sharing again. Happy holidays to you. And guys, check out HeaapsOGamez channel. He does some great pickup videos. He does some awesome streaming. He's been streaming some of the Metal Gear titles. He's been streaming Demon Souls on the PS5. He's just got some great content. And dude, you gotta love the accent. Come on. I'm part Irish myself, so it's like my homeland. So again, happy holidays to you, HeaapsOGamez, and God bless. Alright guys, so now that that's out of the way, I guess it's my turn to give my nostalgic memories. So now I'm going to go with, again, a movie series. Now, I watched these when they came out in the 80s, and then the last one was 1990, so just made it kind of under the radar there of the 80s into the 90s. But I watched them a lot more in the 90s as I was a little older, and I just would watch them over and over again. And I had a friend who I mentioned in the last series, last year when we did this, and we would watch it and we would talk about it all the time, and we would have all these crazy theories about how it would work and how they could have changed things and how they could have screwed things up, or not understanding how could they do this if this happened. It just was tons of theories and conspiracy theories we would bring up about it, and that would be Back to the Future trilogy. Yep, part 1, 2, and 3. These movies are just fantastic. I remember seeing them as a kid. My sister would watch them, so I remember watching them as a kid, but I didn't really connect with them that well until I was a little bit older. And I just absolutely love these movies. It makes me, I've always said ever since I've been watching these that I've always wanted a DeLorean. That's like my dream car. You can want a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, all that. Just give me a DeLorean. That's all I want. So there's a couple of people around here as in our state and stuff, that actually have replicas of the DeLorean, and they get hired to like drive in parades around here and stuff. So it's wicked cool. I get to see one a lot of the times, all the time. But with these movies, I love these movies because it, like, I could kind of relate with it, because he would go back in time to his parents' time, and it was close to like my parents' time. My parents grew up in the mid-40s into the 50s and stuff, so I kind of had that connection of thinking, wow, that would be so cool if I could go back and see my dad and my mom and how they were my age and stuff. And that just, like, I would always think about that ever since seeing the first one. And then with the second one, where they would go into the future, and it was like, wow, 2015, that's gonna be crazy. And then it comes, the actual day that he goes to the future, and it's nothing like that. I mean, it's so crazy. It's funny that, like, we've surpassed the future of this movie now. And so that, it just makes me laugh, and I just kind of wish some of those things that they showed in there were actually real. Like a real hoverboard would be awesome. Self-tying laces. Now I know they have some things like that and stuff that they've come out with and toyed with, but I mean like mass-produced. Like, why? That would be so cool. And then the third one, when I saw that third one, it was just so cool because I'll be talking about this kind of topic in a later episode of the series, but it was Old West, and that's something my dad was big into. He's big into watching Westerns, and it got me into that. And so that's a little sneak peek to an upcoming episode here, but that's why I love the third one so much, because there was a connection with the Westerns and with my dad and spending time with him watching those. So yeah, these movies are just timeless to me. No, every time I watch them, it just takes me back. It just reminds me of my childhood, and it has so many things in it that connect kind of to my life, whether it be the 50s with my parents, the 80s when I grew up, and then of course the Western, the Old West and stuff with my father. So it's so cool, and I can't wait. My kids haven't really seen this yet, but I can't wait to share this with them and get their thoughts on it. Okay guys, so that's the end of episode 6. So be sure to hit subscribe, hit that bell, hit that like, share the videos around. Let's get some people watching this series and loving and sharing these memories that we've been showing here. So with that guys, until the next episode, I'm glitching out.